We have a rumor.
We do have a rumor, and I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way now. I'm going to try on this pronunciation. Saba Lobjanidze.
Sure.
Abenije.
There's an
He's
L in
from
It
there.
again.
Georgia. He's a Georgia guy.
He is a Georgia guy, just not
The
Abenije.
the
the
varsity.
Republic of Georgia, not the state of Georgia. The Republic of Georgia.
When people were tweeting if he could be a homegrown, I wasn't sure if they were serious or not. I saw it like 7 times today.
So quick notes on Saba, as he will now be referred to from here on out. Hopefully, if he does come, maybe we can get him on the show, get the correct pronunciation.
Yes.
Still don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it right at that point, but we'll do my best. Currently playing for a club in Turkey called, and I'll probably butcher this as well, but I'm doing my best, guys. Karagümrük. All right. So
Yeah.
he is on loan from Hatayspor, which is, if you recall, the club, one of many, but it was a club that got hit really, really, really hard by the earthquake in Turkey, and that was it was a bad one for real. Um, Hatayspor actually lost their main building. They lost a handful of people, including Christian Atsu, who I think I want to say Senegalese, maybe.
Mm.
Anyway, had moved to Turkey. Anyway, he lost his life in the earthquake. So he is from
Yeah.
that same club. They loaned out like 15 players after that earthquake because they had to step out of the league because they just couldn't compete anymore. So
Awful.
yeah, just a rough situation. But that's his backstory. So, Sydney, what have you heard about this guy?
No. Yeah. Thanks for the background. Just very
Not to
obviously
make it
tragic.
dark or anything.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good to bring up that context for those who don't know the story. Many do, but yeah, just awful. But yeah, from Tbilisi, Georgia, which is the capital of Georgia, is a winger. He came through the Dynamo Tbilisi Academy coming up. Debuted with their first team in 2014, and then made his way, eventually making his way to Hatayspor, and then, of course, with the tragedy in February, and that being loaned out to Karagümrük, where he's a wing. Well, he's a winger, so he's not scored too many times, but yeah, he's worth around $3 million according to Transfer Market. Listed as a left winger, and just seeing, yeah, essentially only a left winger. He is a Georgian international, plays for their national team. Yeah, 20 years old and 5'9". So yeah, he is also being listed as a right winger and attacking midfielder, which Atlanta United don't really need. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting rumor, and that's all it is right now. It's a rumor. I forget what the publication was that first reported the news, but yeah, it's an interesting situation because Atlanta United are kind of, I mean, they have their share of wingers, don't they? They have, of course, Etienne.
It was
They
Sports Digitale.
Right, Sports Digitale.
Publication that put it out.
Yeah, but yeah, Atlanta have really their share of wingers, and I think a lot of us thought initially that they'd get maybe a TAM level winger or something like that, but at the same time, they have a lot of guys that they can stick in there. But yeah, Lobjanidze, of course, the rumor now, and yeah, Bill, I haven't seen his highlights, but from what people are saying, I mean, they're kind of underwhelmed by what they've seen and heard about him. That being said, I mean, he could tear it up in MLS. Who knows? And just because you ever heard of somebody doesn't mean that he'll be a bust in MLS. So just taking that into account and just noting that right off the top. But yeah, Tyler and Tommy, what do you guys think from what you've seen and heard of him thus far?
I mean, you have depth. That was my first thought. Like, you have a lot of wingers. But if you're in a playoff game, you're in MLS Cup, you're probably starting Etienne, right? Like, he's probably one of your guys, even though he hasn't really performed well.
I mean, are you though? I mean, right now, okay, right now, yes. If MLS Cup were tomorrow,
Yeah, and he hasn't done much really at all
right?
with this team, right? So Yeah, like I thought about it. I was like, okay, well, you have a lot of depth. Like you have a lot of players, but are a lot of them, yeah, I understand Tyler Wolf scoring some goals. Caleb Wiley when he was up there, which we don't think he's going to be anymore. Or maybe, I mean, depending on the formation, he can. But like, I think you're looking for somebody consistent to be up there all the time. And I don't know if any of our guys are really consistent enough. So I'm all for bringing in the winger. It just has to be the right person.
Yeah. I've gone back and forth on this all day. I've watched the videos, and again, take what you can out of videos. You know who else was linked to MLS and was coming from Europe, and nobody really knew who he was over here?
Messi.
Yes. Joseph Martinez. I think it's one of those things where I'm always on a transfer. I'm always going to you got to give the guy a chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you look at him left. I think my biggest thing is the position. Like, unless there's guys on the way out, which may very well happen, especially the way last week went, then you're stacked there. So when I watched his videos, I think one of the things that really stood out to me, one was his speed. The guy's super quick, like way quicker than I thought he was going to be. I mean, he would turn on the ball and just almost like, and I'm not comparing him, so please don't everybody like try to shoot me. But he was like faster on the ball, like Miggy used to be. He's speedy, and I think he's listed as a left winger. I noticed that he really, really, really likes to play centrally. Like he may be listed as a left winger, but if he shows up and that's where he's on paper positioned at, he's going to be one that's going to be drifting straight through the midfield. I think he likes to receive the ball, turn, and make runs. That's what you saw a lot of in these highlight videos. I think where I was a little underwhelmed was his shooting. It was just not the best. It wasn't clinical. It was either just wide of a post or it was straight at the goalkeeper. There was no in between. But again, I'm always going to give somebody the chance 100%. And who knows what other analytics went into this. I would love to know that. It may go over our heads because it's so technical and complicated, but you got to give him a chance. At the end of the day, you got to give him a chance. See what happens if this comes to fruition.